Welcome and good Friday morning, everyone. It is a beautiful, beautiful morning. 73 degrees here in sunny Florida, where it's actually sunny. Yes, sir. It's a beautiful day. Good morning to Marty. Marty is nuts about digging. Was the first person here and the first person to throw up a like this morning. He beat you all. Good morning and welcome, Tommy, and Plugs, and and Cynthia. Welcome to the show. Hope you guys had a fantastic couple of days. I have. I've been. I've been enjoying this warm weather and hanging out and doing a little bit of metal detecting. Um, I'm gonna go over to St. Cloud next week for a couple of days of metal detecting with Swamp Rat Nation at the Split Oaks something preserve. Um, and I'm excited to be able to do that and kind of get out of here for a little bit and go somewhere else. And yeah, um, uh, Mr. Plugs, you were late, buddy. Marty beat you all. He was here. He was here way early. So at Disney, River Styx is at Disney. Really? You're really at Disney? Honestly? Okay. Well, have a great day at Disney, man. I guess standing in lines and waiting for that ride. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 2 hours. Oh, yeah, for a 30-second ride. You're detecting at Disney. No, I'm not detecting at Disney. No, no, I'm not detecting at Disney. I don't even like Disney. I think Disney sucks. Kind of like Yoda. You know, they both suck. I don't like either one of them. Disney is not my place. I'm going to St. Cloud. Um, and I don't think there's a Disney in St. Cloud. There's a Disney in Vero Beach, though, and I have been there to detect. Have you been to Disney in Vero Beach, Florida? Disney sucks. You're right. Disney sucks. I don't like Disney a bit. Too many people, too many lines. It's too dang hot. It's all that black asphalt roads and it reflects up the heat. I went to Disney in July, like 5 or 6 years ago. And honestly, I went because my friends really wanted me to go with them and take pictures of their kids at Disney. But it was a nightmare. I don't like roller coasters. They scare the crap out of me. I went on the little kids roller coaster. It scared the crap out of me. I don't like it. I don't get any joy out of that. Anyway, Disney sucks. And so does Yoda. Good morning, Shane. Welcome to the show. We're talking about, I don't know why we're talking about Disney, but we're talking about Disney. Because Disney is a Florida thing, and I think that it automatically comes up that you talk about Disney. um, let's see. Today's affirmation is every thought we think is creating our future. That's exactly right, Shane. You stand in line to stand in line. If you get a speed pass, then you get to stand in line more speedily with a bunch of other people standing in line. Yeah, Disney sucks. And it's very expensive. If you're a resident of Florida, it's less expensive. So a weekend will cost you $3,000 or $4,000 instead of $5,000 or $6,000. Yeah, not my place. Cynthia, be careful going to the shop with your car. And if you make it back, great. And if you don't make it back today, we'll see you on Monday. I hope it's not terribly expensive. Let's see. Stop, Dennis. Oh, stop what? Okay, so listen up here, folks. It's Friday. It's a beautiful day. I am actually drinking coffee this morning in my metal detecting with Randy coffee mug. And that's because I can't have soda today. I can't have any colored liquids, red or orange. I can drink black coffee, but I can't have soda. I can't have vitamin water that's red or orange, because today I have an endoscopy, and they don't want anything colored red or orange that's going down my throat, because that's what they're going to be looking at. And those colors can settle and make it look like you're bleeding or something stupid like that. Let's see. You know, I would agree with that, Plugs. I think that would make Disney so much of a better place. Good morning, Everything Treasure, and good morning, Johnny Smallpepper. Welcome. They're in the background listening. Let me copy the link. We'll throw it up there if somebody wants to pop up and say hello. There you go. There's the link. Hey there, Everything Treasure. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Friday. I can't believe it's the end of the week already. This week has seemed to go very fast. I don't know why that is, but I saw in the news that Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, which means those northern states will have 6 more weeks of winter weather. I also saw in the news that Punxsutawney Phil's wife left him and moved to Florida because she said he lies. I don't know. You know, here's the thing I don't understand about the whole Punxsutawney Phil thing. If Punxsutawney comes out of his box and it's cloudy, he won't see his shadow on that particular day. And if it's not cloudy, he will. And so if it's a nice day when Punxsutawney comes out, that means that winter's going to continue. I would think that if it's a nice day, well, that would be an indication that winter is coming to an end. I, for one, would like it to end sooner than later, because I would like to get out of Florida and head back up north and see what I can find up north. But Shane says, I'm only an hour and a half away from Punxsutawney. I've only gone wants to see Phil. Oh, you know, uh, Puxatony, I don't understand the whole groundhog thing. You know, in New York State, when you see a groundhog stand up on his back legs, you run him over with your car. But up there in Pennsylvania, they praise this little guy, and I think it's time to let him go. Good morning, who's that? Charlie? Charlie? I don't see Charlie. There he is. Charlie's lurking from the background. Good morning, Unholy Ark. Welcome to the show. It says, good morning from the lanes. Must be driving. Marty says we don't have winter. Well, I tell you what, we already had winter. It already happened. It happened last week. It lasted for about 4 days this year, where the daytime temperatures stayed in the mid 50s, and the nighttime temperatures, well, they were in the 30s. And a week ago, Monday, and when I woke up, there was ice on the windshield in Florida. So, yeah, we still have winter. It's just, it's a shortened version of your winter. Up where Tommy is, they get more of a winter than we do, because he's further north. So, it's a moneymaker for the community. Are you talking about Disney? Disney brings in a great deal of revenue, but they are their own town. They have the Disney, the compound of Disney is considered its own town. And so they don't pay taxes to Orlando. Their taxes are only within Disney. It's a hell of a loophole. I think we should all start a town called Disney, so that we don't have to pay taxes. While they make a crap ton of money, I just can't get... Mark Davis, good morning, buddy. Mark says he woke up to 15 inches of snow so far. Buddy, I'm so happy for you. Oh my gosh, you must be in heaven up there right now. 15 inches. Holy moly. You'll have to climb out the upstairs window to get outside to plow the driveway. Holy moly, 15 inches of snow. I can't even imagine. Let's see. He's been plowing since 6 a.m. Rain and freezing rain up there with Marty. And let's see. Oh, it's Bryce. Oh, it's Bryce. I'm trying to figure out who Unholy Ark is. I'm going to have to remember that. Let's see. He says, we just got done with our driveway. It's super bad down here. Well, buddy, I'm sorry to hear that, but it's Friday and you're still home, which means you must have the day off from school. That's another day that you can spend with your Oculus glasses on, playing those games, punching the walls, hitting the ceiling. Holy cow. Thanks for stopping in, Bryce. It's really hard for me sometimes to remember who is who on these names. Tommy says it was 81 yesterday. Now, see, we didn't get that warm here yesterday. We got up to about 75. But this morning, it's already 73. Jim Steele, welcome and good morning. He says, groundhog tastes good fried. Yeah, man. I tell you what, um, let's see what else we have going on here. Yeah, 81 was terrible, huh, Tommy? That's rough. Uh, oh yes, you're right. The whole groundhog thing is a big money maker. I bet you they have some kind of a they have like a whole parade thing going on up there in Pennsylvania for Puxatony, and everybody comes out and spends a bunch of money for the community. How many Puxatonis have there been? Because I remember Puxatony Phil back when I was uh, a, a, a teenager, and I can't imagine that the Puxatony they showed on the news yesterday is the same Puxatony. That would make him very, very old. Um, Tommy says it's going to be 80 degrees there today. I don't know what the temperature is for today. Um, I don't know what the high is for today. Let me take a quick look. If I can take a quick look. Looks like 81 is our high today. And then we're going to have rain for the next 5 days. Oh my God, that's terrible. Temperature's going to drop tomorrow into the 60s, bounce around between the high 60s and the low 70s for the next 5 days. And then the temperature's going to drop. Holy cow. We'll have those 50-degree overnights. I'm not liking that at all. Shane Kubat says it's 30 degrees up there in Pennsylvania right now. I'll tell you what, my heart goes out to you, and I feel bad that it's so cold up there, but I'm glad it's you and not me. Says Puxatony goes back, he believes, to the 1800s. Buer Finley, you can head out someplace else, buddy. We don't have Cynthia here to block you from the channel, so I hope somebody else will grab that. 32 here feels like spring, says Marty. Well, I'm telling you what, the weather here is not frightful. It's a gorgeous day. I got a message from Tommy who says, Tommy from River Styx is doing a live stream tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And anyone who's able should be there. It's going to be a really good show. As I understand, he's got some special thing going on there. So make sure you go out and go over tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and check out what's going on with River Styx Outdoors and River Styx Van Life. Let's see. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate that. It's always good to get that thumbs down from you. It makes my day. There was a fly flying right in front of my face there. And Mark Davis says it's going to get really cold this weekend. Buddy, I'm telling you, you guys have had a seriously cold winter up there. I don't remember it being in the negative digits when I was still up north for as long as it's been. Where you're in that -3 and -5 and -20. I had received a message a few weeks ago um, uh, from Unholy Arcs Father saying it was negative 21 over in Groton, New York. So I say to you guys, I don't know what really cold is if negative 21 isn't really cold. I don't know how you I don't know what that means. Let me just see what I've got going on here. No, it's not there yet. Not, sorry. Sorry, I'm poking around on my phone this morning while I try to figure out what's going on in the world. So Mark, what does really cold mean? Because your idea of really cold and my idea of really cold are different. Jim says it's 1 degree right now where he's at. Really cold to me is, 50. 50 degrees is really cold. 30 degrees is unbearable. And anything below that is just, it's a sign of death. Death is here. It's coming. It's going to get you. Don't go outside. Really cold is when you fill up a mug with boiling water and you throw it out the window or out the door and it instantly evaporates. Now, I've done that in Rhode Island back when I was a kid. Jim Steele says really cold is when you take a leak and it freezes before it hits the ground. Now that is really cold. Let's see. Shane says, I can remember about 5 years ago, it didn't get above 9 degrees for the whole month of March. Well, holy crap, that's really cold. Mark Davis says, if the wind doesn't blow below zero isn't bad. Well, psychologically, if the sun is shining and the wind isn't churning, then you could go outside and think it was warm out, I guess. He says -10 for this next week. I'm thinking that's really too cold. And Jim Steele, I went camping in the snow when it was -30. I was insane. Well, you're right. I remember the days when I was younger and I lived up there in the New England area, and went camping with the Boy Scouts as I was a counselor for the Boy Scouts back in the mid 90s, and camping in the winter, and it was a bit nuts, Plus, I was really bad with direction and understanding where I was in the woods. I was never actually a Boy Scout myself, but I was a counselor for the Boy Scouts, and I up in Connecticut at Yago campground, I decided to go for a hike in the woods. And 6 hours later, I still didn't know where the hell I was. And everybody at the camp was still trying to find me. So snow and cold is not in its best interest for people like me. Marty says, -58 is the coldest I worked in. It was not fun. Look here. When it gets to be in those negative double digits, man, I don't know if it's really colder or if you can sense that it's colder. Once you're into those negative digits, I think cold is just plain cold. Whereas where I am, cold is, 50, 50 degrees. Jim says it was a survival class in Colorado. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I don't ever want to spend a winter in Colorado. I stayed. I stayed. Wow, you guys are making me feel cold now, and it's not even cold. Let's see. Marty says his deal was in North Canada. And Tommy from River Sticks Outdoors says, I was in negative 60 in Montana and it was cold. Well, I'm sure it was cold, Tommy, because negative 60 is cold, I'm sure. But how do you feel? How does it feel different from negative 20 or negative 10? Once you hit those negative digits, I think all of it's just plain cold. There's no silver lining there. Here, at least the silver lining is that, while it may get down there to 40 or 30 degrees at the overnights and occasionally below the freezing mark, the upside of that is it's overnight, and by 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, it's already warmed up, and shorts and t-shirt weather for normal people. Not like Mark over there, who's happy. He says negative 60 is cold for him. I'll tell you what. Now, I've seen Mark go out there, and it's 25 or 30 degrees out, and he's wearing a t-shirt. I just don't get it. It makes me think maybe something has been damaged upstairs. My time in New York this past year, when I left New York, it was already cold, and in my opinion, it was already cold, and it was in the mid 30s, and I didn't see anything in the 20s before I left, and when I left New York, there was already snow on the road, and it was a nightmare to drive in. Especially in my van. But I had considered staying in New York State, and I'm still considering staying in New York State through the winter, but I'm looking at creating some winter projects or winter activities that I can do without having to go outside ever. And changing my clothing attire to something with heated everything: heated gloves, heated hat, heated jacket, heated pants, heated socks. Just hook a big battery up to me and it'll light me up. I can remember in 1977 and 1978 having to climb out the upstairs window to get outside, to go to the barn and dig a tunnel into the barns to feed the chickens and the cow and the pig, the goats. When winter was really winter, when it was really cold. And that storm dropped, I think it was 22 feet overnight, and that was a hell of a storm. And thankfully, New York doesn't get snow like that anymore. Instead, they get negative digits and serious cold. Now, as a kid, you put on your snowsuit and you went outside and you dug a tunnel, and we had tunnels all over the yard. And kids today are told, don't dig tunnels in the snow because it could collapse and you could be buried alive in the snow. Let me tell you something. When you're building those tunnels, you take a bucket of water with you and you spray the water up onto the snow, and it creates a dome of ice. And we had tunnels. Geez, we had tunnels all over the yard and the driveways, and off from the driveway. A neighbor came up with his big front end loader and dug a path from the end of the road up to the barns, and somewhere in storage, I have a photograph of me sitting on my older brother's shoulders, with my arms straight up in the air, and I couldn't reach the top of the snow. Mark Davis might remember that storm. That was an epic storm. He says, oh, no kidding. He says, if you stay, if you stay in New York, I'll teach you how to spin alpaca fur into yarn. Man, I would love to learn how to do that. I think that would be fantastic. But you'll have to come pick me up, because if there's snow on the road, I won't drive. I just can't do it. See, Tommy says, we used to take the garden hose, in the snowblower and clean the backyard, and then spray it down with the garden hose to make an ice skating rink. Yeah, okay, I could see that. It doesn't mean that I want to do that, but Cynthia, welcome back, honey. I'm so glad you made it back. In case you didn't hear the announcement, I think you were already gone. Tommy says to everybody out there to make sure you're on his Saturday night live stream, 8 p.m. He's got a wicked good live stream coming up, and some great information he's going to be sharing, and so you don't want to miss that live stream. Driving in the snow is fun, Marty. You are nuts. That's all I can say. You are nuts. There's nothing fun about driving. I drove in the snow to get down off from the hill in Cortland, to go down and get onto I-81, and in my van, there was 6 inches of snow on the road, and I downshifted into low 2 to let the engine brake for me, which worked some. But every time I tapped the brakes, the tail end of the van was trying to catch up to the front end of the van. I didn't enjoy it at all. Now, I'll say this. If I'm going to stay up in New York State, I will have the tires on this van studded, which will then give me the opportunity for a little more traction if I have to go out, if I have to drive. Maybe I can slow it down. Yes, Tommy, they're frozen. I'm not going to put that up on the screen, buddy. Now, Mark Davis. Mark Davis has been up there in New York since I can remember. I know he left for a short time, but he likes the winter. He likes the winter, I think, more than he likes the summer. And so he loves to drive in the snow. Yeah. You seem like the kind of guy who would love to drive in the snow. Unholy Ark's father suggested that if I stayed, I could go out four-wheeling with him and doing donuts on the four-wheeler out in the fields. which sounds like fun until you think about me driving one of those things, and the things that can happen when I drive a four-wheeler are just really bad, you know. Um, I was riding the four-wheeler through the woods during the summer about 10 years ago, and whipping through the high grass, and oh, it was fun. I could see a road coming up that would be Wyckoff Road, and I thought, hey, I'll just drive it right out there and get on the road. So I whipped it open and went across through this high grass. We couldn't see anything, and all of a sudden the bottom dropped out. I drove into a ginormous ditch. I flipped the four-wheeler over on top of myself. It's not, I don't know. I'm probably not the best guy to be driving a four-wheeler. But now Tommy's going to have his side-by-side over there at Florida Hunt 7. Look here, buddy. You can trust me to drive that side-by-side because everything is open, man. I mean, I'll be able to see the pond or the lake before I drive into it, you know. I probably won't be going 70 miles an hour. But on another topic, Mark Davis's wife Becky has started back at her limited interaction, limited time of working with her kids. She's doing an online, a virtual teaching. Teaching classes up there in Southern Cayuga. She's doing really well, and she's got a great attitude, and I'm super happy for her. And so, oh, we've gone over our time. I missed my alarm or something. I don't know. Well, we got into this great subject of snow and freezing cold. Today's affirmation is: every thought we think is creating our future. So if you're thinking positive thoughts, if you're thinking in a positive manner, then you'll have a positive future. You're creating a positive future. And if you're thinking in negative manners, well, you get what you put out. Marty says, Cynthia. Thank you, Cynthia. You know, I'm glad to see Becky doing as well as she is. She worked really hard at it. She stayed positive and stayed in that light of I'm gonna beat this. I'm gonna get through it. It's going to be okay. I'm gonna go back to work. I'm gonna go out and visit and hang out with the alpacas. I'm going to, not the negative side of things, and she's proof that you can live with cancer. You can beat cancer. Shining, gleaming example of kicking cancer's ass, and I'm really happy for Becky. I'm happy for Mark. And on that note, I am going to have to say goodbye. I have to get ready for my procedure today. Mark says Becky will be going into school next week for half days. Man, I'll tell you, that is fantastic. She fought the good fight. She kept positive, and she beat the cancer, and she gets to go back to work and continue enjoying her life. And that's what this is all about. So thank you, everyone, for coming by this morning. Remember to throw me a thumbs up on this stream. Thank you for talking about the snow and the cold and the blowing. I enjoyed it. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. And I will see you all Monday morning at 9 a.m. for another edition of Coffee with Cancer from Florida. Raise your coffee cups, have a drink, enjoy, have a great weekend. Get out there and do something you enjoy. Get out there and have some fun. Thanks, everyone. See you on Monday.